I was actually going to play you guys something. I was just listening to this a little bit ago, and it's Matthew McConaughey. And I thought it would be really good tonight to start off with this because this is kind of what we're talking about with productivity and being productive with what you're doing. So it's just a short little audio clip, but I think it's really good and powerful on kind of attitude.
Right, that is for me. That's a great place to get to. You're gonna do it. Do it. Say what you can do. Do what you say. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't over leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it. Find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, if I just would it. That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. When you half-ass something, you just don't know whether you failed or succeeded, got what you want or didn't get what you want. Finding out and looking in the mirror and going, I didn't half-ass it. I went all the way. I found out, and that ain't for me. Or I found out, and you damn right that is for me. That's a great place to get to. You're going to do it. Do it.
So, we've been talking about productivity and getting results because I think over the first few weeks, as we started progressing through the different mechanics of this business, I think some of you got into the trap of just doing whatever it was that the assignment was and focusing on that and not what the actual intended outcome was. And so I think that happens a lot of times to people in general in life when you go through the motions with something, when you don't really understand why it is you're doing what you're doing, and that's part of the process of being mentored and learning and growing is as you're going through these things, not just going through them, not just doing them, but really kind of looking back and saying, why is Wes having us do this? Why did he ask me to do this? What am I learning? What's happening? What's changing? What's happening to my thought process? What's growing? What am I becoming or who am I becoming? What are these things, these steps that he's having us do? And so I think it's really important to when you're completing these assignments, don't just be dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And I think that's one of the things that Matthew McConaughey was talking about. When you're going to do something, don't just do it to get like a participation ribbon. Don't just do it because you're like, well, I want to tell Wes that I got my 5 today. I want to I want to tell Wes that I got my exposure today. That's not the point. The point is to get you guys to 6 figures in residual income. The point is to grow. The point is to learn. The point is to mature in the business. The point is to get better at the business. The point is to become a mentor, right? Because all of these things that I'm teaching you, the objective is for you to then go on and teach people in your organization. And tonight I'm going to talk about something that I think is really powerful. And it reminded me because I was talking to Safe yesterday and we were going through some different things that were happening inside of his organization and questions that he had and kind of some growth areas and what about this and what about that, and we went through some different things, and it reminded me of a very important lesson in the business, which is keeping people in the bubble. And if you ever, there was an old movie, and I don't even know if I ever watched it, but there was this old movie called Bubble Boy. And it was about this boy who lived in a bubble. And I want to talk to you about the bubble theory because this has been something that I've used in all of my businesses, keeping people in the bubble. And we've been talking about how to keep people engaged and why people that sign up are excited at the beginning, but then after a week or two, or even after a few days, lose their excitement or lose their enthusiasm, or they're willing to listen. They're willing to be coachable and teachable and be mentored. And that is all part of this bubble concept that I'm going to talk about tonight. And so I think it starts off with, for me, I told Safe the story of when I was starting in Cutco back 30 years ago. Okay. When I started, I was not, I was above average as a sales rep, but I wasn't like a record breaker. And so I was effective at getting sales. But what happened was, is that I was going on presentations and I would sell 3 or 4 knives. And I was good at getting sales, but obviously selling 3 or 4 knives when your goal, when the objective was to sell the set. But I was a college kid. I started off in college. That's how Cutco works. They recruit college kids. And so I started the summer after my freshman year in college. And this was right out of training. I was 2 or 3 weeks in, and my manager met with me and he said, Wes, why is it that you think, he's looking at all my orders. He takes all my orders out. This is kind of a review of my performance. And he said, why is it that you think, you're only selling 3 or 4 knives on your presentations? And I was like, well, I think I'm doing good. I think that these 3 or 4 knives can do the majority of the jobs in the kitchen. And the other reason is that, I don't think, I think that the set is expensive. And so he said, so you think the set's expensive? And back then, the whole set of Cutco knives was like $600. And now it's like 2,000. Okay. But the whole set back then was like $600. And this was in 1997. And I thought that was expensive because as a college student, $600 to me was a lot. But my manager broke it down for me. He said, Wes, these are knives that are going to last forever. They'll never have to replace them. They'll have them for their entire life. $600 isn't even a house payment. It's a little more than a car payment for most people. They can definitely afford them. So these people that had told me that they can't afford it, he said, Wes, they're lying to you. They're not seeing the value. But the other problem that's happening is that your mindset on what you're thinking is coming through to your customers. So when you think it's too expensive, when you think that they only need 3 or 4 knives, that's all you're going to sell. And that was a really big turning point for me because I realized he was right. It was my expectations that was dictating my outcome. And that's why I talked to you guys last night and I mentioned to Kelly the other night, like, why would you say that you don't think they're going to come, or you don't think they're going to show up, or you don't think they're going to sign up, or you don't think that they're going to return your calls or whatever? Like this negative attitude. If that's your attitude, that's what's going to happen. Okay. And so part of this stems from what your expectation is, because remember, this is about retraining, because you need to be thinking like I think. And I guarantee you, after 39 days of this, that I think differently than all of you do. You guys will say, well, Wes, you can get those results. You get the people show up for your meetings. People sign up after your presentation, because it's you. No, it's because of what my expectation is. It's because I expect them to show up. I expect them to sign up. I expect them to invite people. I expect them to listen. I expect them to be there. I expect them to do the assignments. I mean, these are my expectations because that's the way I think. And it wasn't always that way. I mean, when I started in Cutco, like I said, I was above average, but that was it. But after that meeting, and after my confidence grew, then my average order was a full set. And so then my mindset wasn't, when I got to the end before this conversation and I got to the end when I showed the whole set, that was what we showed first. I would say immediately, this is the whole set. It's $686, but don't worry, you don't have to buy the whole set. I was literally already making objections for them. I was already coming up with excuses and they hadn't even said anything yet. I didn't even give them time to respond. I was supposed to say, so this entire set is $686. Did you want me to go ahead and have it shipped here, or did you want me to hand deliver it to you? That was what they taught us to say. I never said that. I immediately, after I said the 686, I was like cringing. I was like, "Ooh, but it's expensive. But don't worry, you don't have to get all 686. You can just get 3 or 4." I was already moving that way. I was already there mentally. And so, what's important for you to understand is that our references come from experience. And so, the reason I'm talking about the bubble is that you don't want your people to get to a mental place where a lot of you have already been, right? A lot of you have already faced the rejection. A lot of you have already had the negativity. You've already had people quit. You've already had people stand you up. You've already had people not show up. You've already had people not sign up. These things have already happened to you. So you think that that's normal. But my goal for you tonight is to stop thinking like that and try to keep people in the bubble, right? Try to keep them in this bubble of almost like oblivion. Like, this is just the way it is. Because see, if you learn it in a successful way from the beginning, if all you ever do is experience success, you're ruined. But you're ruined in a positive way because you're still in the bubble. So I taught Safe last night what I used to say to every person as soon as I signed them up. Okay. And I talked about this when we've talked about duplication and what to do with the new person. But I did that in a training, several months ago. It's video 3 in the series on the Bright Life Blueprint. And so some of you have probably not watched it, but I encourage you to watch it. But I talk about how it's very important that you set the frame of reference for them. And so the best way to do it, to keep somebody in the bubble, is follow this exact step. So literally the time I sign them up, I'm going to say to them, repeat after me. So this may be at a live event, and maybe at a lunch, and maybe on the phone. I don't care how it is, however you're signing them up. This literally needs to happen as soon as they say, okay, I'm ready to get started. This is exactly what you say next. You say, look, repeat after me. And they're and some of them are going to look at you weird. It's going to be like, what? Huh? What? Yes, repeat after me. And you can say it kind of jokingly, okay? But this is what you're going to say. You're going to say, I promise, have them say it, I promise not to talk to anyone about this, and then let them say it, not to talk to anyone about this until we have met and you have showed me exactly what not to do. Okay? And so then have them say that. Until you have showed me exactly what not to do. And I say, look, the reason I'm having you do this is because I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made. The same mistakes everybody makes. Okay? And so literally tonight, if you're not going to meet with them right then and there, if you're not going to do the game planning session with them right on the spot, this has got to happen. You have to have them say this to you, because then what's going to happen is you're going to say, look, the reason why I'm telling you this is because you're going to go home. You're going to try to convince your wife, convince your husband, convince your boyfriend, convince your girlfriend, convince your best friend that you got into this travel thing and it's going to be so awesome and you're going to get rich. You're going to travel around the world, and they're going to tell you you're crazy. And then you're already going to be negative by the time we meet tomorrow. So I don't want you to talk to anybody. I don't want you to say anything. I don't want you to do it wrong. And so when can we meet? And so what I would try to do is I would literally try to meet with people for coffee the next morning, or my preference is to do it right then and there. I would literally pull them aside. I would do the game planning session with them and teach them about the board of directors and literally have them invite their top 10 right there on the spot. I don't care if it's 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. I don't care. They've talked to their friends after 9 o'clock at night. I mean, we're not talking to people that are 95 years old and, live in a retirement center and they go to bed at 7:30. I mean, nobody's talking to those kind of people. So you could literally pull them aside right then and there. I don't care where this is. I've done this all over the world, even in places where they didn't speak the same language as I did. And I've had the exact same conversation. I've done the exact same thing. I've pulled them aside, had them say this, and then I've literally taught them how to invite, how to make the board of directors list, all the stuff you know. And I've said, let's call them right now. So literally, I would have them invite those 10 and I would listen to every single invite. If you want to assure their success, then you keep them in the bubble. So it's up to you to keep them in the bubble. If they leave you, okay, that night and you don't do this, then all bets are off. They could literally get out of the bubble on their drive home. They could call their husband, they could call their wife, they could call their boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad, cousin, aunt, uncle, whoever they respect, do it all wrong, get shot down, and already be out of the bubble and basically be mentally dead before they even get home. Now, remember, different people have different levels of pain tolerance, okay, and rejection tolerance. But if you keep them in the bubble, they don't have that. They don't worry about it because if they do it wrong and you get them to repeat that and say that to you, then they go, you know what? This is what they're thinking. They're like, you know what? I did it wrong. Wes told me that this was going to happen. So you've almost given them like a barrier, like a shield against the negativity because you told them if they talked to anybody before you showed them what not to do, then all bets were off. And so if you literally tell them to say this and they know that and you explain why you had them say it and you have them do it right, you have them listen, you listen to their invites, you have them invite to something immediately tomorrow. Because here's the thing, the longer you go from the time they sign up until the time they have success is all time that they can get popped out of the bubble. So if there's not an event or meeting that they're going to invite people to for 2 or 3 or 4 days, you've wasted all of your time getting these people signed up because they're going to be dead. They're going to be out of the bubble because they're excited right now. They're not going to go 2 or 3 or 4 days and not say a word about this to the people that they know. It's not going to happen. But if you meet with them either immediately right there on the spot or first thing the next day, then there's a chance that you could keep them in the bubble forever. They might not ever get negative rejection because the thing is if they do it right and they call their board of directors, their top 10 list first, and they get immediate success, when people tell them no or reject them, they're going to be like, bro, I've already signed up like the president of the PTA. I've already signed up somebody who works in the city council's office. I've already signed up the mayor. I've already signed up the baseball coach. I've already signed up blah, blah, blah. Like, they're like, who are you to tell me no? Like, they're in the bubble and they're protected with all this positivity that they've gotten instead of all the negativity that's happened because they're out of the bubble. And so use this to keep people in the bubble and change your expectations. Quit being a negative Nancy and dipping your toe in and just trying to move the coins from right to left and not thinking about how it is that you're going to expose that person, how it is that you're going to sign them up. The assignment is not to move the coins. The assignment is to make $100,000 a year. That's the assignment. It's just these are the things that I see that you guys need to work on. So quit looking at them as tasks and start looking at them as a CEO of your business and saying, why is Wes having us do this? Why can't I take it a step beyond? If Wes said to get 5, why don't I get 6? Why is it always the minimum? Why is it always we're struggling just to get the assignments met? If you want to get there faster, then double the assignments. Do more than what I'm asking. Don't just do 1 exposure, do 2, do 3, do 4. That's what we need to get to. We need to find the person inside of you that says, I'm not okay with just doing the minimum. I'm not okay with just dipping my toe in. I'm not okay with just moving the coins and never turning them into prospects and never getting my 2 and free or never getting my next rank. You have to change that mentality. Just like Matthew McConaughey said, if it's not worth doing, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? You can't just do the minimum and expect to get all the results. And you can't just do the minimum and then go, I did it. Oh, you wanted me to do something else? Oh, I was supposed to do something in addition to that. I was supposed to keep up with the names and actually put them in a place where I could use them and keep up with my hit list. I mean, I have yet to have any of you guys send me your entire list. I've asked. Nobody's done it. So nobody's taken all these people that they've met with the coins and actually wrote them all down and sent them to me on a list. No one. So why? I mean, why do it? Why go through the motions? Why go through the steps and do part of it and do 3 or do 4 or do 5 but not follow up and not put them on your list and not make the list and not grow the list and not, prospect them and expose them. Like we've been doing this for 39 days. This stuff. But the thing is to me, because you guys are out of the bubble, because you've had this, your expectation is not the same as mine. My expectation is everyone shows up, everyone signs up. I'm shocked if they don't. My response is, what? You're not signing up? Like Saith's guy the other day. He's like, I don't leave my house. I'm a homebody. I don't like to go anywhere. I don't like planes. I'm like, okay, dude, sorry. Enjoy your life. It was nice talking to you. So what? You're not going to get them all. But unless somebody says that to me, I'm signing them up. I am blown away. I am completely shocked when they don't join. Are you shocked when they don't join? Or is that what you expected? Are you shocked when they don't show up or when you don't have any guests or when you don't rank up or when you don't make sales? Or is that what you were expecting? Because that's what's happened to you so far. See, to get something that you don't have, you have to do something that you haven't done. There's a reason why you haven't ranked up. There's a reason why you haven't signed up as many people as I have. You haven't gotten as many people. It all stems with the mentality of what you have, right? And some of you are starting to get there and you're having these epiphanies almost every other day or every few days. It's like, oh, I realized this. Oh, I realized that. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't realize I was doing that wrong. Oh, I didn't realize I was doing that wrong. I mean, that's all part of the process. But at some point, we have to go beyond the minimum, go beyond an assignment, and actually really understand why I'm having you do what you're doing. And when are you going to turn the switch on and be like, yep, yeah, Wes, I got my 5 and I already exposed all of them. And I signed up 2 people today. What's up? I'm waiting for somebody to come in and say,
Wes,
yeah,
it's Daryl.
What's up, bro?
Man, I had what you just said. I sat down with Keelan. That was the first person I signed up. He got all those people up under him on his right leg. And I had to reiterate to him what position we were both in. So before he had to leave, he had to go to a game. He's a coach. Someone else showed up that he had invited to come meet me. So I did an exposure. But right before the call started, I got her on the phone. I said, how many people you going to invite? So she had 3 people on the call. So I was trying, and then I got her on the call with Denson. While I'm talking to Denson and her, another one of my guys called me with a 3-way. And then my guy from Las Vegas called me. He's trying to get me on a 3-way right now. So what you just said, it starts to happen because the activity, it just increases. The next thing you know, an explosion can take place. I mean,
that's right.
Man, I can just see it. It's something you just said about the epiphany every day or something.
Yeah.
But it just triggered because I need to get on the call with my guy in Vegas, and I was hoping, I could get you on the call with them. But
yeah.
At least can I go ahead and try to get these 3 ways out the way because I need to talk to him.
Yeah, man, go. This is being recorded, so go get on it. I mean, I
okay.
Told them when we started, you were on a call. So we started, I got your message and I told them you were closing people from the Zoom. I mean, that's the thing, right? This call is to create this type of activity, create these types of results. And that's why I told you yesterday, Daryl, when you've got those people, you use that third-party validation. You've got to take yourself out of the equation. It's all of these little things adding up to where you get to the point to where all of this stuff becomes second nature. It's all easy for you guys. Like, you guys are pros at this stuff already. It's just, when are you going to take the training wheels off and really start using it, really start using these skills that y'all have developed over the last 39 days? And it's starting to happen. And I told you guys a month ago that the work you're doing now is not going to pay you for at least 30 to 60 or 90 days. And so all of that work that we've been putting in over the last 30 days is not paying you yet. but you're going to start to see activity and results that eventually will start to pay you. And that's the way the business works. And so this is what I'm saying. It's you've got to get to the point where I don't have to tell you everything to do, where it's not me telling you every day, go do this, go do this, go do this. It's you guys coming back to me and going above and beyond whatever the minimum is, whatever the assignment is, and showing me what you've been able to do on your own. Right? It's like if you were, a bird and you were showing your babies how to fly. It's like, hey, watch me fly. Okay, watch me do this. Now you try it. Okay, you fell. Okay, you flapped for a little bit, but then that was it. And now you guys know all of this stuff. I mean, we've been doing this for 39 days. All the stuff we're still talking about, you guys know. But it's good that you're starting to ask questions and starting to understand the business at a deeper level. This is why Saith and I had the conversation that we had yesterday, talking about understanding why people's behavior is what it is. It's one of the reasons I talked about what I talked about in the training and the psychology of the business on Saturday for the whole company. Part of that came from what I've been learning working with you guys. I've never done 39 days in a row of mentorship like this in my career. I've never done this before. And so I've been learning too with your behavior and with what's been happening and the conversations that we've been having that have helped the whole company. I think that part of the reason why the whole company has had 4 straight weeks of record sales in a row is no coincidence that this is 4 or 5 straight weeks of what we've been doing in the mentorship group, right? And so you have to be willing to do the things that you're asking of your people. And there's nobody that's outworking me right now. I mean, I've done more Zooms than anybody in the company by 100-fold, right? I've been doing it in a month. I'll have been doing Zooms 5 nights a week for 1 year. The only time we didn't do 5 Zooms in a week since last April, okay, was like Thanksgiving week. We didn't do one on Wednesday or Thursday, and Christmas week. I think Christmas fell on Tuesday or Wednesday, and we didn't do it on or Monday, and we didn't do it on Sunday or Monday. I did it on the 26th. And so literally that's a year's worth of Zooms, and I've done almost all of them. And so the idea is that everything we're doing, you're learning, I'm learning, we're all growing. It's all helping each other. And so, like I said, it's not going to show up in your paycheck right away. But as soon as you're able to take the learning lessons and the assignments and the things we're doing and to actually do it with full intention, to actually do it the way that it's intended to do, not just to do it to cross off something off my list, but to actually do it and get results, that's when you're really going to see everything start to grow in your business, like what Daryl's starting to say. I mean, and Saith has seen it too. And that's one of the reasons why he's asking questions and wants to understand things about the business. And so all of you are going to start having these epiphanies and these things that you're learning and realizing, and you're going to be like, damn, I wish I would have been doing that the whole time. Man, I wish I would have learned this a long time ago. Man, I wish I would have realized this a long time ago. Man, I wish I would have stopped being so negative a long time ago. I wish I would have expected everybody to show up. I wish I would have just called more people. You've got nothing to lose, people. Nothing to lose. Nothing. Like, if somebody tells you no, so what? Are you going to melt? Are you the wicked witch and you're going to just shrivel up and melt because somebody told you no? No, you're not. Nothing's going to happen to you if somebody rejects you or tells you no. You cannot allow other people to dictate your happiness and the way you feel about yourself. They have no control over that. If you allow other people to control your attitude or your happiness or your behavior, you are letting people have way too much control in your life. It's okay to get no's. You've just got to go through them faster until you get good at making the majority of them yeses. Like I said, there's going to be, I mean, the guy was Saith the other day. I was laughing on the phone. He's like, bro, I don't go anywhere. I'm a homebody. I don't like to fly. I don't like planes. I'm like, whoa, that's okay, cool. Well, I'm like, what about sports? What about concerts? What about music festivals? What about, do you eat out? No, I eat at home. No, I don't go anywhere. No, I don't go to concerts. I don't really like music. I'm a loner. I don't have any friends. I'm like, you know what, bud? It was nice talking to you. Thanks so much for taking some time to listen to what we're doing. It means a lot. Good luck to you. Being a hermit. Okay. And that's all good. You know, you're not going to get everybody, but so what? And Saith and I both were like, so what next? Who cares? Okay. So, with that being said, did anybody have anything positive that they want to share from the last 24 hours? Signups, success, ranks, anything happening positive on your team before we wrap things up for tonight?
Wes, real quick, I just want to ask a question because you were saying like just how about like how you speak to people and that guy wasn't really that interested and he was just saying no and all that stuff, right? But today I went to Toastmasters and I seen a guy that I met him in the other Toastmasters on Thursday and I called him last minute once I got home, maybe 6 minutes before the call, got him on the Zoom.
Okay.
He left the call about, let's just say, 3 to 4 minutes before it ended. He left it and then he texted me. Well, he texted me, "Hey bro, I left. Hey bro, I left. It's a pyramid scheme."
Okay.
So I feel like for me I didn't respond. I don't feel like I feel like
I mean,
it's just
look, here's the reality. The reality is
Mhm.
that he's uneducated, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's all there is to it. Say, you know, I always respond to negative people with just my goal is to just I don't want to treat negativity with negativity. So I would just say, wow, I would say, wow, that's and this is something that I learned from Mark Aceta. He would always say, wow, that's interesting. Wow, that's interesting. I appreciate you getting on and listening tonight. Thanks so much. Literally it. Because the thing is if you have to convince somebody, if you have to try to like beg them, then they're gonna suck anyway. Like that guy's gonna suck, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I could get on the phone with him and make him feel really stupid, but what's that gonna do for us? Because he's not gonna do anything. I mean, if somebody's gonna have to hit him upside the head, somebody's gonna have to really show him. But here's the thing: he needs third party validation because he answered that question, will it work, with a no. And also, can I do this? Because for whatever reason, he was turned off by whatever the presentation was or however it happened. And so, you know, at least he got on. So that's good. But he didn't think that it's going to work for him. So it's going to take somebody like him showing him that he knows and trusts that it works before he's ever going to get this negative thinking out of his head. So unfortunately, there's going to be people that are like that. And I never try to argue with the negative person. I always am just like, wow, that's interesting, you know, or, oh, really? Wow. Okay. I would have thought you would have been much more open-minded, but that's fine. Thanks so much for sharing your opinion, you know? And that's it. Because the thing is do you want to spend a bunch of time convincing a negative guy like that? Or would you rather just move on and keep talking to more people that could be positive, you know?
Definitely. I really appreciate that, Wes.
Yeah. So just I blow it off and just tell them hey, wow, that's really an interesting response. Okay, thanks for listening. I appreciate you taking some time. Because you don't want him to go blow things up for you in the Toastmasters meeting with other people, because he'll be talking shit if you get negative with him, and you don't want that. Okay?
Hey, Wes, I had a question as well.
Yep.
So, I exposed someone today, my friend Emilio, I didn't meet him too long ago, and I got him to watch the video, and he was really interested in the business to business program.
Cool.
So I didn't really know exactly how to go about it. I have a call set up with him tomorrow, so we can talk about it more. But I just didn't know how to go about the business to business. He said
Have
he
you
has.
read all this stuff on the B2B website?
I went through it one time.
We have a whole, like in the back office news, we have a whole program. There's a folder there. You can watch the training again. We did an entire training on it. It was about 3 months ago, and it's in the YouTube channel, and you can watch it. It's linked in that back office news section as well. So I would encourage you to go watch that and then look at the website, because I'm not going to go through all that right now with everybody else on here. But if you go through that and you have questions, you can reach out to me, and I can also set you up with Sarah. But you should go back through and watch all that stuff to have it fresh, because it's been about 3 months since we did that training. And it's all in there. There's so many brochures. There's so much stuff. If you go to brightlifebenefits.com, we have an entire website that's dedicated to the B2B program.
Okay, thank you. I got it.
And then also we have the product only presentation that doesn't have any network marketing or any presentation like 2 and free. None of that is in there because we don't have 2 and free for B2B. And so that's the whybrightlife.com. So if you go to hold on. That's what is Bright Life. If you go to whatisbrightlife.com, that is the product only presentation. Hold on, let me just double check really quick. So I use them all the time, but just
Hello, everyone. My name is Wes Melcher. I'm the founder of Bright Life, and we want to thank you for taking time.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wes Melcher. I'm the founder.
Yeah,
of
whatisbrightlife.com.
Thank you for taking time out of your
That's the 9-minute video that we use for B2B because it doesn't have any MLM or presentation. I mean, like, or 2 and free or any of that. Okay.
Okay.
So in
All
the
right.
news in the back office, there's a whole breakdown with the folder with all the presentations and everything. And then the video is in the training on the YouTube channel, and I'm pretty sure it's in that post. So just go watch that stuff, go through the page, and then if you still have questions, just let me know.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
I'm glad you
Thank you.
said that because the guy that I'm friends with, the regional manager here for Take 5 Oil, is wanting to do the same thing with the B2B to get in touch with the HR as well.
Okay.
So I got time set up with him tomorrow afternoon.
Getting in and being a B2B rep or doing B2B is different than setting up an appointment with B2B because Sarah will do that immediately. All you have to do is submit the lead through brightlifebenefits.com and Sarah will work the lead. And if you submit it, you get to split the sales. So
yeah, I've got a meeting with him tomorrow to get that contact information.
Okay, perfect. Just have him introduce you and then submit the lead on brightlifebenefits.com.
Okay, sounds good.
And all that is on that same news page. It talks about leads. It talks about how you get paid. Talks about how the program works. It's all in there. All right, guys. Anybody else have anything positive today? Hot news, exciting, sales, signups, positive activity? No.
You're going to be in Nashville tomorrow, right?
Nashville?
Is that where you're going tomorrow?
No. Memphis.
Memphis. Okay. I've got somebody that is in actual Nashville for a work conference this week. I don't know if tomorrow's going to be the last day or not, but I can see if they're going to come back through that way to stop through.
If they're from Texarkana, I don't know if that's on the way.
They're from Valonia, Arkansas.
Oh, well, that's definitely not on the way.
No, he's on the Tennessee side.
Well, you can try. I'll be in Memphis tomorrow night. The meeting was posted. Daryl posted it in the group yesterday.
Okay.
Memphis,
all right, thanks.
Tomorrow night. All right, guys. I got to get some sleep. I got an early flight. So hopefully I will not see you guys tomorrow night. And possibly not Friday either. So I'll hop on if I can't meet with you on Friday and at least let you know. But obviously no call tomorrow night. I'll be doing the event in Memphis tomorrow night. So no call tomorrow night. So I'll see you guys back on Friday.